And no one ever responded, no one ever did anything after.
I'd like to call to order the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting of August 12th, 2014 at approximately 7 p.m. Mayor Cinco is unable to attend tonight's meeting, so as Deputy Mayor, I will be facilitating tonight's meeting. So if we could all please rise for the Lord's Prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mayor Cinco, Mrs. Gatos.
Here.
Dr. Griesach.
Here.
Mr. Harvey.
Here.
Mr. Johns.
Here.
Mr. Clary. Mr. Duncan.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Little.
Here.
Mr. Zunich.
Here.
Mr. Lally.
Present.
Mr. Hugus.
Here.
Mr. Sedlak.
Here. Okay, first off, we have public comment on proposed agenda items only. So if anyone would like to comment on the proposed agenda items, now is your time to do so. Seeing none, we're going to move on to a presentation for a 2014 Community Engagement Award for the Monroeville Public Library by Marlene Dean and Martin Lieb.
Marty's not able to be here.
Okay, so Marlene's doing it on her own.
I want to thank Tim Little for inviting us to come and tell you about the
She come to
award.
the podium, the other podium,
Microphone.
Thank you.
As he said, Monroeville has received the 2014
Can you drop the
community.
microphone down further so we can hear you, please? Thank you.
How's that? Is
That's
that good?
Thank you.
That's
Okay.
perfect, thank you.
We've received the 2014 Community Engagement Award, which is given by the Allegheny County Library Association, and I will read from the plaque. It's for significant and exceptional response to community need through extraordinary and innovative public service. We received it because of our work with the nursing homes and assisted living communities in Monroeville. For the last 3 years, we've forged a very nice relationship with the activities directors from most of those facilities, as well as lots of volunteers, so that together we've been able to provide services to the hundreds and patients of residents in the facilities. And apparently it's that partnership that impressed the awards committee at ACLA. In addition to the plaque, we received a check for $5,000, and that's earmarked for additional community engagement. If you'd like to learn more, by all means, give me a call. And thank you again for the opportunity to come tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Moving on, I'm seeking approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting of June 10th, 2014, the Citizens Night meeting of July 3rd, 2014, the council work session of July 3rd, 2014, and the regular council meeting of July 8th of 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions or changes to those minutes? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Moving on to the approval of reports of the tax collections. Do I have a motion?
So
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or changes to those reports? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
List of bills and budget transfers. I will make a motion to approve those.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the list of bills minus the Dickey McCamey bill.
So, Bob, the appropriate order of doing that.
Well, she's making an amendment to your motion. So if there's if
I will retract my motion.
then she's making a motion to pay the bills minus one, the Dickey McCamey bill, so it requires a second.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion on that?
Yeah, I just, that's both, there's there's just one invoice on there.
There's just one
There's
invoice
just one
now.
invoice on this one, okay, just
Yes.
to clarify that, okay.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Moving on to our payroll report. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Any additions, changes? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities. There are vacancies that still exist on some boards, commissions, and the authorities. Are there any for council this evening? Seeing none, we're going to move over to...
Dr. Griesbach, I would like to ask Mrs. Gatos to explain why she is amending the paying of bills. Can we do that?
That's already been.
The motion's
Is
been
it
made.
too late to do that?
Yeah, it is too late.
Okay, okay.
Moving on to our consent agenda of new business. We have a 14-3 sub, Cheryl G. Stevenson. Applicant is requesting final subdivision approval for the consolidation of parcel 854K-150 and parcel 854K-157 to create Lot 1 totaling .756 acres. The property is located at 520 Cottage Lane in the R2 Single Family Residential Zoning District. Is the applicant present?
I don't see the applicant here. Do you want me to go over it again real quick?
Yes, if you want to for the record.
As we discussed on Thursday, this is Cottage Lane. Currently, the owner has two separate lots. They have a lot with with their single-family home and another lot here with a small shed. They wanted to take both these lots, combine it in to make one larger lot, so they can do some more additional work with their shed.
Pretty straightforward.
Yes,
the
it's just a
planning-
two-lot consolidation plan. Planning Commission has approved with conditions.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve it with the conditions of the planning commission.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Johns.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Moving on over to our motions. This will be for you, Mr. Little.
Thank you very much, Dr. Griesbach. We have 4 motions for council's approval this evening. The first one is a motion to accept the resignation of Ellen Goldenhagen from the Library Board.
A motion to accept.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Johns.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach.
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
Okay, the second motion is a motion to approve the advertisement for the reconstruction of Old Ramsey Road.
Motion to approve.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Johns.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Okay, the third motion is a motion to approve the Monroeville Volunteer Fire Department number 4 to order the Seagrave custom pumper for the estimated municipal financial obligation of $580,236.21.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And just so everyone knows, we did discuss this at our Thursday's work session. The fire chiefs were here. Does council require any additional information at this point? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Johns.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach.
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
Okay, item number 4 is a motion to appoint Douglas Communell to the position of Business Tax Auditor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Johns.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
And moving over to our resolutions, this will still be you, Mr. Little.
Okay, we have 3 resolutions for council's consideration. A resolution to enter into a 5-year agility agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation.
Tim, this is the.
Quid pro
Quid
quo,
pro-
value for value. Nothing is proposed here. It's a 5-year resolution that can be renewed with just a letter after the 5 years. But as we discussed on Thursday, among Mike Adams, myself, and Carmen Agnotti, I believe is his last name, with the PennDOT District office here in Monroeville, if we come up with a value for value, what PennDOT can do for the municipality and the municipality can do for Monroeville, I'll bring it to council's attention to see if they agree with it, and then we'll move on from there. But this just puts it in motion, but there's nothing proposed as far as a work.
We're not obligated to any certain.
We're not obligated, no. But a resolution, though, does have to be passed and does have to be on file with Pennsylvania Department of Transportation.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos.
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach.
Aye.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Johns.
Aye.
Mr. Duncan.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Okay, the second resolution is a resolution to enter into a winter traffic service supplemental agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the 2014-15 winter season. And the roads are listed on the attachment to the resolution. And this is a normal annual resolution that is passed for the roads that we maintain, winter maintenance for PennDOT.
I have a question on that.
Yes, Mr. Duncan.
Have we got in touch with the state?
Yeah, I have a call, Mr. Duncan, I have a call into them. I have not contacted I have a call into PennDOT on that, as we talked Thursday night as far as salt going up, the price of salt going up, and how that is commensurate with these prices, which my belief would be probably not, but I don't know that definitely.
Well, I mean, it only makes sense to me that we table something like this until we talk to them. In regards to the salt going up $22 a ton, they're giving us a total of $13,300 or $35.98 for the amount of roads that we do. That equates to what, 168 tons of salt for a whole winter for those roads? Doesn't seem like enough to me, by no means.
It's whatever's the pleasure of council.
Well, we're certainly just at the end of August now. Hopefully, it's not snowing anytime soon, so I don't think it's too
Well,
unreasonable.
just to give you an example, for our minimum use, the minimum amount for our bid is 6,400 tons that we can get this year. At $20 a ton increase, or $22 a ton, it's $140,000 increase, just for the minimum. For example, last year we used 10 tons. It was a terrible winter. I understand that. But that would be an increase of $220,000, almost $250,000 increase from if we have a similar winter this year as to last year, $250,000 increase, just in material.
What are we paying this year?
I believe it's 77?
But it's going, we went from 57 something to 74, 5, something like, I
thought it was 77, but that's what I equated my numbers.
It's a significant increase, there's no question about it. And everybody, I mean, this just isn't through Shaycog, it's everybody. In fact, Shaycog's is one of the lesser increases.
So without revisiting the state and county, we also do this with the county. Naturally, they couldn't even argue our point that we'd need an increase just to carry over the increase.
No, I don't think it hurts if you table it till next month, and I can get a little bit more information. I mean, that's...
Okay, I'd like to make that motion that we table till
Second.
next month.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Okay, the third resolution is a resolution appointing the Pierce Park Group of Westchester, Pennsylvania as the other post-employment benefit OPEB fund investment firm.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Very good. We're moving over to ordinances. This would be Mr. Zunick, if you could handle this.
There is a proposed ordinance. Primary purpose of this ordinance is to amend an existing ordinance number 1443, specifically the definition section, amending and providing for additional definitions for the regulation of development in a floodplain. Article 2, Sections 211, floodplain districts, 212, floodplain provisions, and 213, floodplain design and construction standards. The definitions would be amended by inserting new provisions for all construction and development located within a floodplain and providing for new FEMA maps. That's the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mayor, can I interject real quick? We received a letter today from Allegheny County's Economic Development who has to review ordinances under the MPC. They had some comments concerning the ordinance, but it's nothing of substantial. I just think that if you acknowledge the fact that you should include the language as the August 7th letter from Allegheny County's Economic Development as part of this, it would cover those minor changes if there are any.
I have no problem with that.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the motion would include the amendment suggested by the county.
Economic Development Office, dated August 7th.
August 7th. Okay, there was a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions on that? Roll call, please, Sharon.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Dr. Griesbach?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Very good. Moving over to our reports of municipal staff. Mr. Zunick, any comments this evening?
I don't have a specific report. I should just announce that I'm keeping Mr. Dice's seat warm. He's at another meeting and plans to be here shortly.
Very good. Well, he missed his chance to speak, so
That's pretty tough for him to miss.
Make sure you give an autograph.
right. Mr. Hugus, anything this evening?
No, I handed out council some additional information about Old Ramsey Road. I know you've already taken a consensus on advertisement of it. I gave you some additional information there as far as dollar values that you requested from Thursday night.
And just for everyone's gratification, the minimum amount to get the road opened up, Mr. Hugus.
It's $525,000.
and to fix everything.
$1.3 million.
Very good. So council will have some discussion on that as far as what option and which way to go, but certainly I think everyone recognizes that that road, we need to get that reopened on Old Ramsey. So very good. Mr. Lally, any comments this evening?
No, just reminding council to please submit your budget items or your requests as soon as you possibly can. We are moving along on the budget. Nothing seems to be out of line at this time.
Very good. And Mr. Little.
Thank you very much, Dr. Griesok. One item that is not on the agenda that has just come in from Thursday is the CSI report is completed. And I wanted to give a little synopsis of the report this evening. Due to pending litigation, the report is not going to be given out. But what I am going to do is give the public and council a little synopsis of what the CSI report is, which started back in March. And to give a little background, the new council came on board here January the 6th, and as most people know, there were questions of the daily report, which was done about a year ago, about 13 months ago, and whether or not everything in the daily report was factual. Nobody knew whether it was. You assumed it is. But I was looking into, in January, as council, we discussed this in our first executive session and looked into it. My first action was to sit down with certain personnel and discuss what was in the daily report. And I discussed with the then police secretary her testimony in the daily report on January the 31st. And her discussion with me was different than what was in the daily report. And it was different significantly. So from that one interview on January the 31st, my discussion with her, I contacted our solicitor, Mr. Dice, on how we would go about this if this was different than what was in the daily report. And he recommended CSI, and then we hired CSI, council did. And the ensuing report, the synopsis I have here, I'm going to go over just real briefly. First of all, the one sent, Mr. Little requested CSI to reinvestigate and clarify certain findings of the daily report. That's in the first paragraph of the report. And that was basically kind of triggered from the interview that I had at the time with the then police secretary from last year. There are three findings, and I'm going to go over these very briefly. Finding number one, access to police CAT entries by fire and EMS personnel was an ongoing problem, which was routinely fixed but never corrected by the then either Lieutenant or Assistant Chief Steve Pascarella. Mr. Pascarella, his designation with the LRTS was called a super user and had maximum security privilege to all client agency data. And that's part of finding number one. Finding number two, Chief Doug Cole did not tamper with citations, and these have to do with citations, allegedly him fixing citations. The citations were written by Officer Mark Savage on October the 8th, 2012, but they were withdrawn by Mr. Savage on October the 11th, 2012. And that's from finding number two. There's more to this, but I'm just giving a synopsis for the public because we mentioned to the public that we would go over this, but at that time, we, meaning the council and everybody up here, did not know that there was pending litigation. The report really doesn't have to be gone over at this time, but this council feels it's an obligation to the public to go over it to some degree, even though there's pending litigation. Still standing with finding number two, these citations seem to be seem to have been mishandled during every step of the process. Bullet number 1 was Sergeants Hainsey and McConnell, who, according to their interviews, routinely handled all citations, did not handle these citations. The then police secretary provided copies of the citations to Steve Pasquarella, which is outside the normal handling procedures. And that's the conclusion of finding number 2. Finding number 3, Monroeville Volunteer Fire Company members did not access police CAD entries for personal reasons. The dispatchers maintained that they logged onto the system at the Monroeville Volunteer Fire Company, did so inadvertently or a force of habit through different passwords they used here at the dispatcher station. Those are the 3 findings that are in the CSI report. They're a little bit more detailed, but that's all that I'm going to go into it this evening. I talked with Mr. Dice today, and he's not here, but he is requesting counsel not to speak about this because there is pending federal litigation with this, and that the investigation by CSI is completed. And it's up to, in consultation with Mr. Dice, our solicitor, when the federal litigation is at a certain point or whether it's over, that the report, and along with the daily report, which this council mentioned that they would give that out also, to compare the two. But since we can't give this out, we're not going to release the daily report either at this time. And that depends on what moves forward with the federal investigation. So that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Little. We'll move on to public comments on any municipal items. Now's your time to speak if anyone has anything. If you could just please sign in for the record and state that you are a Monroeville resident.
Good evening. My name is John Yakum. I am a Monroeville resident. Mr. Deputy Mayor, members of council, Manager Little, and Mr. Zunick, good evening to all of you. Mr. Deputy Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to address you in council this evening. Last week's meeting was interesting. I was pleased that Mayor Arasenko answered some of my questions. However, I was disappointed that the public continues to be misled. I know we are trying to enforce a 5-minute rule here, so I will be brief. Almost everything I asked the mayor last week was answered untruthfully or inaccurately. I am not accusing the mayor of lying. It is possible that he just had bad information. I am going to comment on some of the most egregious statements. First, I had asked if there was a personal relationship between the company hired to do the investigation of the daily report and any employees. I was told by the mayor that he did not know of any such relationship. Mr. Deputy Mayor, that is untrue. There is a relationship, and when it is revealed that it has been covered up, the credibility of the investigation will be challenged, wasting more taxpayer money. Why has the relationship between the current investigators and one of the persons involved in the investigation been denied? Mayor Arasenko made a huge deal about the alleged relationship between Chief Pasquarella and John Daly. Why is the relationship between current investigators and one of our employees being hidden?
Well, Mr. Yakum, me personally, I can't speak for Mayor Arasenko, obviously, but me personally, and I believe other members of council, we got the CSI company information from the Gateway School District through Mr. Dice that they have used CSI in the past at the school district.
So you're telling me that you don't know of any personal relationship as a sitting member of council, as a deputy mayor, you don't personally know that there's a relationship between one of the primary investigators and one of the employees involved?
No.
Okay. Mr. Deputy Mayor, Mayor Arasenko stated the focus of the investigation has not changed. However, it is apparent that it has changed from what was stated in the minutes and in the engagement letters signed by Manager Little and Solicitor Dice. But in the interest of time, I will leave that for another day. Mr. Deputy Mayor, last week, Councilman Harvey held up a payroll report of the past several months to exclaim that former Chief Pasquarella had been paid continuously since his resignation as chief. Both you and Manager Little were here when he made that statement, and both of you have seen the reports. Can you tell me, Mr. Deputy Mayor, was Steve Pasquarella being paid wages, or was he simply being paid, over a period of time, his accrued benefits, including vacation and sick time?
My understanding that, we'll call Mr. Pasquarella, I'm not sure if it would be a chief or assistant chief or lieutenant, but Mr. Pasquarella was on long-term disability and was being paid while he was on long-term disability.
So they weren't accrued benefits that he had earned prior
No way.
and
Mr.
moved
Little
forward.
can clarify.
No, John, no, they were discretionary days.
So he wasn't actually being paid a part of his salary. This was already accrued benefit.
He was being paid as discretionary days.
Okay, so that's not salary, correct?
He was being paid as discretionary days.
Can you answer the question if it was at salary or not salary?
It was discretionary days, John.
Okay, so he was no longer receiving a salary as such.
I'm not going to get into semantics on whether it was salary or it wasn't salary.
Well, I'm
He
sure
was
if you don't
being
get into
paid.
it here, at some point, it's going to be on the record. Okay.
It was discretionary days, that's a fact.
Okay, so it was discretionary days, so you let Councilman Harvey make it as if he was still on the payroll, but these were discretionary days. Neither one of you thought it was important to correct the public's or the record?
Well, being on the payroll or being employed and being on short-term disability and long-term disability, I mean, you're still an employee when you're on long-term disability.
Yes, that's correct. However, when employees, including former employees, including the two that are sitting here, had their last day of work as a municipal employee, they collected a lump sum benefit of their accrued benefits. That's different than still being an employee.
Well, I mean, Mr. Pasquarella is on long-term disability and is no longer an employee at this point. I don't have the date in front of me exactly whenever he went
So
on
was
long-term
that stack,
disability.
was he being paid, Ron, in that stack, or was he on, was it his vacation time that he was getting paid over
Well, you have to be an employee to get vacation.
You know, actually.
We wouldn't give you vacation,
No, but it's something he had prior earned.
and he was using it.
Okay.
If I'm not sure exactly the point you're trying to make.
Yeah,
I mean,
A lot of it, I don't have them, I didn't bring them back tonight, but a lot of them were benefit time that he did accrue with vacation, and I don't know if there was any comp time in there or not, but you have to be an employee to use that stuff. Once you leave, you don't have that vacation anymore.
Okay. And speaking of last week and Councilman Harvey's comments, Mr. Deputy Mayor, our municipality is currently involved with 2 federal lawsuits. Multiple state lawsuits involving past employees. I anticipate several more. And we have been the subject of at least 1 federal and 2 state investigations. And for the second time, an elected official has publicly attacked a Post-Gazette reporter. Several months back, Mayor Arasenko made disparaging comments regarding Post-Gazette reporter Annie Siebert. This time, Councilman Harvey attacked John Silber's reporting. But during his attack, he admits he never actually read the story. I ask you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, is there anywhere in the Post-Gazette article that Councilman Harvey referenced regarding former Chief Pasquarella's lawsuit that mentions a secret meeting?
I didn't read Mr. Silver's article, actually.
So you're a sitting member of council, both of you are sitting members of council, and you didn't read the story about a lawsuit involving our municipality that showed up in the major newspaper in our town.
No, I am a subscriber of the Tribune Review.
Okay? Thank you very much.
And I'm not trying to endorse the Tribune Review. I don't get any money out of endorsing their paper. But at any rate, any other public comments this evening? Please state your name for the record and that you are a Monroeville resident.
My name is Patrick Monahan. I am a Monroeville resident. Okay. Evening, everybody. I also need to expand on some things that were said last Thursday. I would like to remind you that Mr. Little stated that he is having difficulty getting a meeting with the State Attorney General's office, and it's not the fault of Monroeville. I disagree. I'm sure you're all aware of the email I sent Councilwoman Gatos a few months ago with a letter attached from the State Attorney General. In this letter, the AG stated they did in fact perform an audit of the Alert TS software. They were in fact physically here for the audit, and they did try to schedule a meeting with the mayor, Manager McKinney, Solicitor Dice, and council. However, according to this letter, the meeting was rescheduled at the request of Mayor Arasenko. The letter goes on to say Solicitor Dice contacted the AG and asked why a meeting was even necessary. Over the last few days, an email popped up online from Mayor Arasenko to all parties in Monroeville involved concerning this meeting. In the email, Mayor Arasenko goes on to say that not only was he unable to attend, but neither could Solicitor Dice and Councilman Johns, Duncan, and Griesok. A few months back, Mr. Little stated here that perception is everything. I agree. I'm going to tell you how the perception about this meeting business looks to me. First, it looks like the mayor didn't want to have the meeting days before last election day, probably because he had a feeling he wasn't going to like what he heard, and it possibly could have changed the outcome of the election. Nobody knows. He played politics with our town for his own benefit and possibly the benefit of 4 new council members. Secondly, I don't think Mr. Duncan, Mr. Johns, and Dr. Griesok, wanted to attend because they also didn't want to hear what the state had to say. Since they had been supportive of Chief Cole from the start of this whole mess, perhaps they didn't want to hear that they were wrong. While we're on the subject of the AG and the investigation, I want to point out something to Mr. Harvey. I don't think it will be a surprise to you, sir. I think you're a very smart man, and you have this already figured out. I don't know what makes you or any other fire chief think that they should have been questioned by the state during the course of their audit. According to Mr. Cherba, a deputy attorney general, they were here to audit the Alert TS software as it pertains to CREA. Unless I'm mistaken, the municipality's servers are what was needed to accomplish this, not the PCs at the individual fire stations. If I'm right, they are slaves to the servers. You don't need them, you need the servers. Mr. Cherber was able to do everything he needed to do here and was not needed or required to travel anywhere else. Also, Mr. Harvey, since you had made your position well known, either in these chambers or to the media prior to the audit, what would have been the point of asking you any questions? The state's audit was to determine whether or not unauthorized personnel accessed the dispatch software. It was also to determine what steps the municipality was taking to prevent it from happening again. In essence, the municipality was under investigation, not you, Mr. Harvey, or Number 5 Fire Hall. In any case, since there were generic usernames and passwords given out, no specific individual could or will be identified. Everybody had the same username and password. Since Mr. Charba last fall was satisfied that Chief Stephen Pasquarella and Manager McKinney had taken the steps necessary to prevent a future occurrence, one of which was to fire Chief Cole and a few dispatchers who abused their authority, and since the mayor and several councilmen had canceled the meeting, the state decided the case was closed and nothing further was needed. Now, 10 months after the state determined this, a councilman, Mr. Harvey, who was an outspoken critic and a fire chief, along with the reinstated police chief that the state decided needed to be fired, along with a manager who wasn't here during the course of the investigation, wants to have a sit-down, the state is supposed to rush out from Harrisburg? It's simple. They were here, and they did what they were supposed to do. You guys choose not to believe them, question their integrity, and downplay the audit to suit your own political needs. You play dumb and act like you're the ones trying to get to the bottom of it, and when the state won't play your game, you blame them for inaction. Once again, you guys either refuse to believe investigations already completed or badmouth them, or you make stuff up to cover up certain things you don't want the public to know. I assure you there are plenty of us who are going to keep on searching until we find the real truth, not your version of the truth. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And I will agree with Mr. Moynihan as far as seeking the truth. What I'm really interested in, and I think council's interested in as well, as far as what the Attorney General's office based their investigation on. Were they physically here, and what information did they actually go on? Did they go off of what we're finding out now, a failed report with indiscrepancies? Was it based on emails from a past manager or from a past council person? Was there a true investigation? There was not a meeting with the Attorney General, but this council certainly is willing to meet and furthermore find out exactly how they determined, got to these findings and what they based their investigation on. But we do understand that we have to go by the Attorney General's schedule. So, moving on to reports of, any other public comments this evening? I apologize.
That's okay. My name is Betsy Desmond. I'm from Monroeville. On a different note.
That's pull right down, please.
On a different note, I want to say that Monroeville is moving forward with their Crime Watch meetings. The council will be talking about it, and we hope that all the residents, they have any questions or any complaints or anything, start showing up for the positive things in Monroeville. The business is coming in. If there's problems in neighborhoods, that everybody in Monroeville wants to be the eyes and the ears. I really am passionate about my Crime Watch, the Crime Watch. I hope it goes forward, and anybody that can make it, when council reveals the date, I hope you're all there. Thank you.
And there's a couple dates in September. Is that correct, Betsy, that they're trying to figure out? And it would be at number 4 Fire Hall?
The 15th or the 22nd of September at Monroeville number 4. But it's for all the residents. We're going to keep it moving. So, of course, number 4 Fire Hall donating the room for free. So whatever we can do to help our seniors or young or watch drug activity, I'm really, really passionate about this.
Well, thank you very much. And both those dates are going to be after our next work session and after our next council meeting, so we can update everyone at that point. But it'll be at number 4 Fire Hall, and I think it's a great idea to try to include everybody, because what's been done in the past is different neighborhoods, and it's a little more challenging that way. So if we can get everybody on board, that'd be great. Any other public comments this evening? Just sign in, please, and state your name for the record. You are a Monroeville resident.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Scott Faze. I'm the fire chief at Monroeville Volunteer Fire Company number 4, and I'm a resident of Monroeville. I would just like to take this opportunity on behalf of myself and Monroeville Volunteer Fire Company number 4 to thank the municipality and council for the approval of our item tonight, and we appreciate your continued support. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Thanks, Scott. Any other public comments this evening? Seeing none, we're going to move over to our reports of council members. Linda, we'll start with you. Mrs. Gatos, please.
Okay. First, I'd like to thank the fire chiefs all for working so hard and getting the municipality a cost that was below the allotted amount of money for the the engine that we are getting. So thank you for your time and efforts into that, and it saves everybody in the borough money. So I wanted to thank them for that. Of course, congratulations to our library for the award that they received. It's a very positive thing for the library, and it shows the dedication that they have in working with our seniors, and I'd like to see that continue. So congratulations to them for that. And other than that, that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you very much. Mr. Harvey.
Geez. For the people that missed the Citizens Night meeting, I just wanted to report that Marywood Drive has been repaired. There is a complaint of down in the Meadowdale plan as far as the storm sewers being cleaned out. That's being handled. Hollingwood Place, I have not come to a resolution as far as getting your street fixed yet, but I'm working on it. The house on College Park Drive, Paul Hugus has looked at that problem, and it is being corrected near the Newcomb house that was purchased and being remodeled. There's two things I can't go over tonight because of... I forgot to congratulate John Caper for his long service with the municipal authority and his retirement. So congratulations, John. I hope you're sitting at home relaxing. I did announce that there were some residents up throughout the months concerned about the people that you see standing on the street corners, mainly 22 and 48, Center Road and 22, Old William Penn and Center Road, that are holding up signs and asking for financial help or money. And there is an ordinance in existence to enforce that. It's 2278, if anybody wants to read it, but that ordinance is in place and signed. So those situations can be addressed. And then, almost finally, I assume that most everybody is aware of the flood problem we had at Old William Penn and Beatty Road, and that's not resolved yet. Today could have been another one, but the rain didn't last as long as the initial one, where the resident got stuck in her car and there had to be a water rescue. I do have pictures if anybody wants to see them. I talked to Mr. Little about that, and right now there isn't a resolution to it because the problem is on, I don't want to call it the John Eagle property because they don't own it, but where John Eagle is located, the property owners have a collapsed storm sewer there, and that's what's causing the water backup. Should this happen again, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, that the police and public works are going to shut down the intersection.
Well, the police and public works are monitoring that intersection when it rains. So if it does start to build up again like it did last Sunday, they will have to close the road down. So they are monitoring it.
Lastly, my comment to the gentleman that was just up speaking, I think, without going into depth and dragging this on, that he might want to be careful about the information that he's provided, because slowly but surely we are getting documentation that will rebuttal a lot of what he accused me of tonight and accused counsel of. It's not in my hands yet. I've read it. I think he is going to be shocked when he hears it, judging by his opinion tonight. Those facts are coming in. I don't know where he got all that information about the Attorney General's office, but I've personally talked to them, and that is nowhere near the story they gave me. And you should be aware that they're coming back, okay? And And the story that the gentleman told me is not even close to what you said. But we'll get to that when the time comes. I just wanted to make you aware of it. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Mr. Johns?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to go over again what's going on down at the Monroeville Convention Center. I understand that the Steel City Con was a huge success. Coming up August 14th through the 16th is the Sewing and Quilt Expo. August 21st through the 24th is Just Between Friends. August 23rd and 24th is the Showmasters Gun Show. Willie Ski Sale will be down there August 30th and 31st, and also on September 1st. Meeting of the Marked Tattoo Artist Expo. This is for you, Ron.
Thank you.
September 5th through September 7th. Western PA Safety Day, September 10th. Celebrate Monroeville is September 11th, and it's going to be emceed by my friend and yours, Kathy Seviller. Wedding Clickers Bridal Show is Sunday, September 14th, and the Baby Palooza is also September 14th. That's what's going on at the Convention Center, and a couple other quick things. I'd like to please remind everybody, the 20th of this month, which is a week from tomorrow, Planning Commission will have a meeting here in council chambers. I've asked most everybody that I see over in the Turnpike Gardens area to please try to attend. It's concerning the temple down over the hill. It's pretty important, and I'm hoping that we can get enough people here to realize just what's going to go on there. I mean, certainly with everybody knowing how many problems we're currently having on Northern Pike Hill, we're working on getting it fixed, and I'll keep you updated. I'm trying to get a bunch of people together that have the authority to maybe make something happen on that hill, and I'll let you know when the time comes, and hopefully it will be soon. Other than that, I would like to once again congratulate Mr. Caper, and with that, I'm done.
Thank you very much. Mr. Duncan?
All I have is I'd like to congratulate the library board for their Community Engagement Award. I think that's a great thing. And also, as I stated last Thursday, congratulate John Caper on his retirement after 20 years with the authority. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Mr. Wilson?
Congratulations to the library board and to Christie. Obviously, Christie was involved in this award along the way. Please don't forget, we're planning a Crime Watch meeting in September. Please, all residents consider attending. And Mr. Caper, congratulations. I'm sorry I forgot last week. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Little, you had something else to add?
Yeah, I would like to wish Kyle Lawson, who is a reporter for the Times-Express, he mentioned to me that he is leaving the Times-Express. Really? And like to wish him lots of luck. And Kyle, get that Pulitzer Prize that I've always been telling you that you'll get. Okay, lots of luck to whatever you're going. You've done a lot of reporting over the last 4 years in this community, and just lots of luck to you.
Thank you very much. And finally, no one can deny that this community has gone through a lot the past couple years. I mean, if you even somewhat pay attention to things, there's definitely been a lot. And there certainly is, there's been a lot of division, and there's been a lot of, sides. Now, one could say that maybe one side is been leaned to heavier based on how the community has voted the past election cycle. But still, it's divided, and there's definitely sides. But, I would like to see us get on Monroeville's side and us all work together. I mean, when will enough be enough? This is a good town with good people in it. We ultimately all want to have good services, good amenities. We want, a place for our kids to grow up. We want good schools, good businesses, places to work. This is a good town. So I would just ask everyone out there to let's all try to move forward and do what's best for this town and this community. So, moving on to some business, the land bank ordinance that was discussed, or the land bank initiative that was discussed from the COG last Thursday. I would like to task the manager to meet with Mr. Dice and to start to get the that ordinance going, and hopefully council will join me on this as far as supporting this ordinance to get involved with this land bank. We'll discuss this more as it comes forward. We did discuss it at length on Thursday. But I think it's a good thing for this community and for a lot of these delinquent taxpayers. I don't know if they're called taxpayers, delinquent tax owers, and rundown properties. I think it's a good thing for us to get involved with. So, if Mr. Little, if you could work with Mr. Dice and Amanda Settlemeyer at the COG to get that rolling. Some announcements here. The summer concert series sponsored by UPMC East continues this Sunday, August 17th. 8th Street Rocks is going to be playing at the Tall Trees Amphitheater. They always do a great job. They are an energizing local rock and blues band. That's 6:30 to 8:30 at the Community Park West at the Tall Trees Amphitheater. Refreshments will be available for purchase there. And these concerts are always a nice night out, so hopefully a cooperative weather that evening. More concert news. The Jazz Festival is Saturday, August 23rd. Mr. Somerville was here on Thursday discussing it. Unfortunately, I don't have the time in front of me, but I believe...
7 p.m.
Is it 7 p.m. as well? Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Jazz Festival, then that's Saturday, August 23rd. On behalf of Mr. Clary, because he's not here as the liaison to the Monroeville Senior Citizen Center, the Central Blood Bank is actually organizing a blood drive with the Senior Center. It's a Monroeville Community Hit a Home Run for Patients blood drive. It's Thursday, August 28th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Monroeville Senior Center, which is behind the library. And here's the big thing. All participating donors will receive a pair of tickets to a future Pirates home game. So that's Central Blood Bank. So for more information, contact the Senior Citizen Center and donate some blood, and let's go Bucks. Congratulations to the library for their award. And same thing, I'll reiterate what Mr. Little said. Good luck to Kyle Lawson in all of his endeavors in reporting with his new job. And lastly, sitting in this chair, as I mentioned before, I'm definitely more comfortable in the second ward seat. I believe if you review the tape, I don't believe I struck the gavel at the start of the meeting. Mr. Zunick, I don't know, does that make this meeting void, or?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, good. Well, if we have to redo this, we'll do it again. But so I'm going to hold it here in my hand so I don't forget in a few moments here. But we wish Mayor Cinco some time back. And now I'm going to ask for a motion to retire to executive session for personnel and litigation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Have a good evening.